Hey everybody, it's Eri from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And in this video, I'm going to address a Ripple rumor that is circulating. I'm also going to talk about Gensler. And I want to tell you about an XRP community member who has been poached by Ripple X. So first, reminding you what the General Counsel Stu Alderati said on December 23rd, it's easy to play amateur Twitter lawyer and wait till you see the real pros in action, citing Michael Kellogg, who has argued 14 cases in the Supreme Court and hundreds more in the Court of Appeals. And the reason why I bring this up is because Leonidas, who is really good at sticking to the facts, this is the person who is behind the XRP Arcade website, which is taking a little bit of a hiatus right now. However, he is still sharing quality content on Twitter. I'm going to put his Twitter handle in the description below because that's a little bit difficult to remember. But let me show you the graphic that he shared because it really had my jaw drop. This shows the power machine of legal minds to fight the SEC complaint. It's a real eye-opener as to the sheer force this is going to bring in the way of the expertise, the skill, and the experience. Look at all the attorneys going up against just 3 attorneys that are representing the SEC. That would be Dugan Bliss, or Jorge Tenrejo, and Richard Best. Richard Best is in this picture here, shown on the far left. He was named the director of the New York regional office in August. And then when we look at Jorge, well, he is the one that really led this charge to go after Vertasium. This is an ICO that was back in 2017. They had a token, VERI, they still do, and the organizer was Reggie Middleton. Reggie Middleton got right in the center of their targets, and the SEC finally got Reggie to settle in October 2019 by having him sign a decree without admitting or denying all the allegations, but they squeezed him for $9.5 million to settle that case. And then when we take a look at Dugan Bliss, I want to tell you that Bliss had one of the most publicized and followed cases by the SEC. That is when he tried to put a notch in his belt after an 8-year investigation that he led against Lynn Tilton. Lynn told CNBC's Power Lunch in 2017 that people told her to just settle this case. Just settle it and put the matter behind you. But she wanted to fight for her truth, despite all the people that told her it was impossible to win. Well, she fought for 2 years, and the SEC suffered a defeat. The judge ruled that the complaint failed to prove that there was fraud, so it was dismissed. So I think now I want to address that rumor. And the rumor is that the Ripple case has been dismissed. So it comes from somebody who is very well known on Twitter, especially since there was a little bit of news that came out about the MoneyGram partnership before it was announced. So when he was tweeting that this case had been dismissed, of course, everyone started to pay attention because of the past story that he got fairly correct. Not exactly perfect, but it was still interesting enough that it caught everybody's attention today. So there was some thought that because Ripple and the case doesn't show up on this litigation release website, well, let me just weigh in on what I think. This is what I think. I think because a litigation release is an official SEC record of the settlement or a hearing that's scheduled before a civil court judge. Now remember, we don't know yet who will be hearing the case. We don't know whether it's Judge Annalisa Torres or if it'll be a magistrate judge. So I'm thinking that's why we don't see it. And nothing was removed, and not just because the sequential numbers are all in order, but we can see here on December 29th, there is an archived capture of the page, and the LR was not there for the Ripple complaint on that date. So I don't think anything was removed. And there is the fact that the docket was updated on January 13th, and this is with 7 pro hoc vice granting the motion of their appearance. Now you say to yourself, what is a pro hoc vice? Well, have a listen and I think it'll make sense.
We are looking at how to pronounce this phrase from Latin, literally translating into for this occasion or for this event. This is a legal term usually referring to a practice in common law jurisdictions. This is when a lawyer who has not been admitted to practice in a certain jurisdiction is allowed to participate in a particular case in that jurisdiction. How do you go about pronouncing it? Pro hac vice. Pro hac vice. Pro hac vice motion or pro hac vice admission, for example.
So there you have it. And I think this is, well, for one example, Bradley E. Oppenheimer, who is a Washington, D.C. attorney, a litigation partner of Kellogg, Hansen, Todd, Figel, and Federick. He is representing one of the 13 attorneys Leonidas had on the graphic fighting for Ripple. One of 13 just for Ripple. And because he is going to fight this in New York, that is why you see that pro hoc vice. So I think that as far as this update goes on the docket, I think so does the case. But we will, I'm always trying to get to the bottom of the truth, and I had a little bit of a conversation with this person on a DM, and I shared that conversation with my Patreon people, my supporters, and so, you know, I want to just get to I just want to get to the truth, right? So, but what I can see right now, it looks like that case is still in motion. All right, I'm moving to Gensler. And so when we take a look at this Washington Post site, we can see that Joe Biden has announced 33 nominees to fill key roles in his administration. This site tracks 756 of the 1,250 that are required to have Senate confirmation. Did you know presidents are required to fill roughly 4,000 positions in all for the executive branch? 4,000. I had no idea it was that many. So Gensler, just have a listen to these 2 minutes of the Yahoo Finance.
We are just 1 week away from the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden, and we continue to see his cabinet fleshed out, major appointments being made over the last couple of weeks. And we now know who will be tapped to lead the SEC under Joe Biden, and that is Gary Gensler. Brian Cheung joins us now for a bit more on the import of this appointment, Brian, and maybe some thoughts on the direction the SEC might take in the Biden administration.
Well, as you mentioned, it was reported by Reuters, still yet to be confirmed by the Biden administration, that it will be Gary Gensler who will be heading the Securities and Exchange Commission in the coming administration, obviously pending Senate confirmation. He was a former chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission under Obama, the CFTC. He started his career at Goldman, so he's a Goldman guy, which actually is kind of notable given how a lot of the Biden administration nominees so far appear to be from BlackRock, at least in the financial space. Now, as far as Gensler himself, he did serve in the U.S. Treasury under the Clinton administration, and he really cut his teeth at the CFTC working on implementing that 2010 Dodd-Frank Act after the financial crisis, specifically on the regulation of derivatives, which is really in the CFTC's wheelhouse. Now, as the head of the SEC, he could really steer a lot of attention towards crypto. That's a space that he's been studying at length during his current tenure at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. That could be something that attracts a lot of attention given the rise in Bitcoin. So a lot of interesting things to watch there with Gensler.
So I brought you yesterday a 2-minute portion of a 30-minute presentation and chat from April 2018. And you can find he has been making a lot of comments on the crypto space all the way through October 2018 because he was actively teaching. And yes, he is you can find him saying in his description of Ripple that it is centralized and looks very much like an unregulated security. But please remember, when he was making those comments, he's making those comments in 2018. This is 2021, and things are very different for the company Ripple and the digital asset XRP. Ripple does not sell XRP. In fact, they really stopped that, and they are even making at times, they are purchasing XRP. So Ripple also is a company that did not create the Genesis block. And so he was very wrong when he made that comment in one of his statements. And XRP is used today much more than was in 2018 when he claimed it was not being used. In fact, it is 20% of the volume of transactions with on-demand liquidity. And it is widely used now in other use cases. You know, contrary to what he stated in 2018, we have COIL, and we have other new cases that are emerging literally with more potential than the low value, high volume remittances. Take, for example, FlareNetworks. This is a video that became available today to watch. This is Santiago and Hugo. It's now available for everyone to see. This is part of the Real Vision platform. I did see this back on the 6th or 8th of January because I'm a member of the Real Vision platform, but now I think it's available to view for everyone. It is fabulous. This project is really something. You know, XRP is going to get it off the starting blocks along with Litecoin, and the potential of DeFi and the potential to use XRP in the future in the DeFi space is real. I mean, it's real. This is not just a pipe dream. And still, another big difference from 2018 to today is that we have Japan's top securities regulator saying that XRP is not a security. And that's the same for other countries as well, including the UK. And this is a great graphic, by the way, the block had out in an article today. And then you have FX Coin. FX Coin, in their Ripple report last week, wrote that the swap market is still in focus with XRP. Let me read you this. Focusing on XRP, which has the advantage among them, we will carry out activities aimed at demonstrating the settlement of corporate debt and credit and creating the swap market. Now, when I talk about the potential here, the swap market as a whole is over 50% of the more than 6 trillion traded daily in the FX market. Yes, you heard me right. Swaps are more than 50% of 6 trillion traded daily. So, you know, it's a very different world now for the digital asset XRP than it was in 2018. So the last story I want to tell you, and it ties in beautifully, is you need to follow Matt Hamilton at Hammertoe. on Twitter. And why? Because he's now working as a director of developer relations for Ripple X. And he is going to be our window to the world of projects that are built on the XRP ledger. And I think this is just fantastic, Matt. I really want to give you a huge congratulations, and I'm so happy that you are in that position, and I know everyone feels the same. And so do follow Matt, because you're going to really understand how the digital asset XRP and the ledger are moving into the future. All right, everybody, we're jumping to the fluff. Oh, I have to just tell you first a couple of funny stories. The first one is Sapporo Beer made a mistake, and not so surprising. It was an English mistake. Well, maybe surprising because it came from Sapporo, which you would think would have a good English proofreader, but they released a can of beer that had lager misspelled. This should be Lager instead of AR. Well, at the time someone caught it, there was a huge rush on going to buy the can because Sapporo said they were going to pull it. But so many people went to buy the can as a memento of a mistake. Sapporo then came back with a statement, said, okay, we're going to go ahead and keep it. So yeah, only in Japan you can find a big company like Sapporo that continues to spell lager wrong on its label. Oh, it's a funny, funny, funny thing for me. And sorry to say that there was an artist in Osaka that was not granted a patent to turn the telephone booths into goldfish aquariums. It was a good try, though. It was a good try. And last but not least, this is the time of year, and it has happened every year since 1952, that there is a display of the flowering plum bonsai, and they're really, really beautiful. This group of caretakers have more than 300 bonsai, and then they choose the ones that are flowering and in really good shape, and they'll rotate in and out nearly 90 of those 300 from now. They just started on January 9th until mid-March, and it's called the Nagahama Plum Tree Bonsai Exhibition, and it really is fabulous. And the reason why you can enjoy this even if you don't come to Japan is because they have a photo contest every year. And so a lot of people go to just grab that one perfect photo to enter it into the photo contest. And what I'll do is I will put the kanji to this so that you can cut and paste it into Twitter, and then you can, over the next 60 some days, take a look at what everybody is uploading, because there's some beautiful photographs already in just a few days since it's opened up. This particular plum tree is 150 years old, which is, you know, it's old, but it's not that old for a matured bonsai. Sometimes you'll see 300 and 400 and 500-year-old trees. So just think when you put this on the blockchain, because some of these trees that are 300 and 400 and 500 years old, we don't know who has cared for them throughout the years. And I've always thought to put the caretakers and the history of the bonsai onto blockchain so that we don't lose their history going forward, because some of these trees will be able to last another few hundred years. And then I just picked one photograph from the Twitter feed that I thought was really had a chance to win the contest. I think the blossoms are so delicate and so full of so much beauty up close. You know, they are just a beautiful blossom. So I will do that, and I hope that some of you will take a look on Twitter and follow the photographs that are uploaded. All right, everybody. Yes, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.